Hi everyone, welcome back. Annette here to my rug hook and talk show. So just grab a cup of something warm if you're up in the Northeast because it's starting to cool down, but today is actually really nice and warm. So I'm still having my cup of coffee in my little hooking mug that I bought off of Etsy, and I'm always trying to give people business so they can share their good crafts with others and everybody gets happy. Anyway, so I'm still working on my granddaughter rug, but I gotta tell you, I kind of discovered knitting on a loom, and I've been spending so much time doing that I kind of neglected my rug here. I was doing like 5 minutes a day, and then I had to kind of force myself. But you know what the funny thing is? As soon as I'm here at my frame and I'm hooking, it's always good. It's just, I'm like, oh geez, why did I stay away again so long? So so if that's happening to you, just go, go with your flow and whatever your mood is doing, but just kind of give yourself a nudge to get back into your rug hooking, because once you're down there in your little space, or wherever you hook, just it becomes good, and you get your rug finished that way. So yeah. So speaking of rug hooking, I had gotten the Rug Hooking magazine for this month, and it's filled with all kinds of great things. It even has a little pull-out pattern for this little pillow. It's a Christmas tree. Very kind of modern style for those of you who like modern and contemporary furnishings as opposed to country and that sort of thing. It's a nice little hooked rug pillow. I'm trying to look for the pattern. I pulled it out. Yeah, here it is. So I'll just give you a quick peek at what that looks like. So there you go. A nice little pattern for free from Rug Hooking magazine, which all their magazine issues come with a free pattern. And then a nice viewer, Victoria, who watches my show, and she sent me some really nice magazines that she thought I would be interested, since I spoke so highly of a Primitive Place and a Country Christmas. Primitive Place, I'm sorry, I didn't speak of that, but that's coming in, so I wanted to share that with you when it does come in. But anyway, she told me of a magazine called A Simple Life, and she sent me one so I can kind of sample it, which was really nice. She sent me two, so thank you, Victoria. That was really, really nice of you. I appreciate it. And so I got a chance to look through it. I like country, I like colonial, I like a little of everything, really. My house is not straight up any one thing. It definitely is country style, but not straight up colonial or anything like that. But I put touches of it. There's little things in my house that are just very country, and it kind of goes well with my hooked rugs and that sort of thing. But just so you can see some pictures from this magazine of what it's like. It's very country. And it just, like it says, it's antiques, early homes, history, different types of museums, just lots of pretty furnishings. But every now and then when you look through it, you'll see hooked rugs on the floor and little country samplers and handmade things. And I just think that's so neat to see what we evolved from in regards to our crafting and that sort of thing. So thank you again for these great magazines. I'm going to go through them really, really well when I get a chance. So there's that. So like I said, I started knitting on a loom. I can't do the needle thing. Yeah, this is about as intense as it's going to get for me. But I want to show you what I made, and then I will share the looms with you. So these were just a quick, this is a rug hooking show, and why are we doing knitting? I just wanted to share because it's yarn, and I love yarn and color and craft, hand making clothes and all that stuff. I love it. So I had made just a little quick cowl, and I just want to share it with you. So, that just goes on, and it's not big and bulky. I made it for my daughter. She's on the petite side. So And then I made a slouchy hat. I guess the girls wear it so that it slouches like that. And that's for my daughter too. So a little bit of wool and stuff like that. And really fast, the last one is a little pink hand knit cap that I made. And so there you go. That's a toddler hat. So really quick, since I don't use needles, and maybe some of you don't even know what a loom is, I'm going to quickly show you 2 looms and the hook that goes with it. If you're, challenged in any way, shape, or form using knitting needles or figuring out rows and stitches and counts and knit 1 and purl 2, okay, so that's me. So I bought this loom out of Michael's. I had a 40% off coupon. So I was like, let's give it a try. It came with a bunch of other ones. It came with 1, 2, 3. I think it came with 3 or 4 looms. I'm not sure, but at least 3. Anyway, so 1, 2, 4 looms, straight ones. So there's this one, there's a bigger one, and there's 2 smaller ones. This is for an adult size hat, believe it or not. It shrinks down. That's what I made this hat on. So it's for an adult, a male, a female, it doesn't matter. And so that's basically it. You just wrap your yarn around it very quick, and then you re-wrap it and you just start flipping it over. I learned how to do a rib stitch, which is just a knit and a purl, either one. So that's how I got that rib look. And then this came from Cindy Woods looms. So if anybody's ever interested in doing looms, they're on wood, and they're just beautiful. I mean, she makes them with I don't know if you can notice, but if you're a knitter, you know. There's different gauges and different needle sizes. So this is very wide set, and you could see these are much more narrow. So the closer you get with your spacing of your pegs, the finer knitting product you'll come out with. Your clothing, your item will be a little bit finer in gauge, of course, and using a finer yarn. So it just gives you options. That's all. That's it. I just wanted to show you quickly. It's just a hook, a little pick, and it just picks it up and flips it over. And that's it. Okay. I don't want to elaborate too much on my knitting journey, but I got really excited about it because I absolutely love yarn. And I love to hook with yarn and do things with yarn, but you're kind of limited with what kind of yarn you can actually have fun with when you're just hooking with yarn. You need rug yarn. So this allows me to kind of have fun with all those other beautiful yarns that I see out there that now I can't knit, so now I can knit. So I'm having fun with that, and everybody's getting hats in my family, and scarves and little fun things. I'm venturing into those little mittens that you have no fingertips, so that my daughters can use their cell phones and all that fun stuff. Anyway, so basically that's it. The leaves are disappeared, and they've all been taken away, and so now fall is here, and it's such a good time to just kind of think of where we're going with our rugs, with our families, getting ready, thinking about Thanksgiving meals and baking and doing a lot of bread baking. My family kind of got used to home-baked bread, so they're always asking for a bread. So I've been doing a lot of that. And I must say the rug, I'm really happy with the rug. It's really starting to take shape. And I think we all kind of feel that way if we do a rug that has a lot of motif and then there's a background, as opposed to like a pictorial or an abstract where you're kind of working on the whole rug basically at the same time. It's taking shape. But for a rug with motifs with a background, you really kind of don't see that full picture yet until you start hooking. So I'll take it off and show, but I've been working on the border, and as soon as the border's done, I will, let me see if I can give you a little quick close-up. I'm going to be traveling with you, so just hang in there. Okay, let's see. Okay, so as you can see, let me pull that part up. So there you go. That's the border. It's a pink plaid, a brown pinkish plaid, and it will be have different color light pinks, and as soon as I start that, of course I will share that with you, and you can start to see where that is going. So yeah, go ahead and grab something to drink. Grab your hook and needle if you are, and just make yourself comfortable and hook along. Okay, got a little nice warm coffee here this morning. And let's see, what else? I think I wanted to share. Oh yes, I know. You know what, again, I'm going back to something out of rug hooking. And I'm sharing something about knitting again, but really it's a book on knitting, but it's not. It's on really just creating with your hands, using wool and yarn, and just the fascination with it. And it's called Knitting Pearls. And I started reading a little bit of it at the bookstore yesterday when I was at Barnes and Nobles. So I don't know if you can see that. Okay, and it's a book, it's edited by Anne Hood, but it's, okay, let me show you the full cover. That's the bottom part of the cover. Okay. Okay. And it's a book about people who knit and use their hands, whether it's crocheting, knitting, and it's their little story of what it did for them, whether it comforted them, whether it opened up a whole new world for them, what they created with it, how they felt after they created it. It's just really a book on creating. And these little vignettes, these little stories are by some well-known people and celebrities. So I'll give you some quick titles of the little paragraphs of the stories themselves, the chapters. One's called An Italian Wife. Another one is Knitting Yarns. Another one's The Red Thread. Comfort, A Journey Through Grief. The Knitting Circle. So these are all things that, I mean, clearly we could even transpose them into rug hooking. You know, we have our little rug hooking groups. We have a rug hooking talk show where we never see each other in person, but we chat. There's a comfort that goes along with that, of knowing there's somebody there at the other end receiving your thoughts and your opinions and your ideas. And it's an exchange of that. And it's a virtual conversation that we have when we do something like this. And then it's even closer when you're in a circle of people who are like-minded and sharing what they're going through. And you know, when you go to a knitting circle or a rug hooking group, half the time you're probably not even talking about rug hooking. You're talking about other things that are going on in your life. And that's great. That's what it's for. That's what we form groups for, so we can just come together as people, as humans that need a little attention once in a while, and just sometimes you want to be the one to bear the burden of somebody else, and that's a good thing too. So it's all good, and I just wanted to share that as I was reading the book. I only got through it for a few pages, but it was really, really nice. And like I said, I'm not a knitter, but these stories will lend themselves to anybody who does a craft, whether it's quilting, anything like that. So, you know, needlepoint. I joined a knitting group. Well, it's not a knitting group, so per se, it's the Needle Arts group. And I could bring my rug hooking, and you could bring cross stitch, whatever you want. It's at the local library, and it's a lovely group of older women, and we just sit and chat and talk about whatever's going on in our lives or other people's, and we just talk about wool and yarn and where to get it. For those of you who do knit, and I know there's a lot of rug hookers who like to knit in between, and that really is good on your hands too. It kind of takes away that constant motion, and if you get that carpal tunnel thing, or you get a little arthritis from rug hooking, it's kind of good to switch off. But for those of you who have a love affair with yarn, as do I, Webs, I've shared before, Webs Yarn, yarn.com, and Knit Picks. Knit Picks, I was just told, and was really good, so I went and placed an order for some yarn because I'm going to be making a lot of gifts, knitted gifts, but some of their bulky yarn can be absolutely used in rug hooking. There's not a problem. I mean, if you're going to use it underfoot, I probably wouldn't make a whole rug with that kind of softish yarn because you want something resilient and strong. But if you need something for a particular color that you like, or you're doing something for a wall, oh, absolutely, you can do the whole thing in beautiful yarns from yarn stores and the like. Like, I probably wouldn't use anything less than a bulky because it would just be tedious. But if that's your thing and you like working with detail, then by all means, there's a lot of fine, thinner wools out there that could be used wonderfully for rug hooking. So, oh, just really quick, in one of the books that she sent me, I got this really cool, so I just had an idea for, because I love to drink my tea. It's a teapot template, and I just thought that would be really cute to make for something on top of your table if you're serving tea with a little teapot, or even if you're not using a teapot on top of your teapot trivet or little runner or placemat. You know, you could put your dish there with your cookies or your biscuits or whatever. I just thought that was a cute template. These ideas come from everywhere, but I've never hooked something that would be put someplace for me to put something on top of it, like I see candle mats, and those are very pretty and quick to make and hook up. So those are kind of cool gifts too if you're thinking of hooking gifts for anybody. That's a good idea. So that kind of gave me that little inspiration. So thank you again, Victoria, for sending that to me. So so there you go. Those are the little things I just wanted to share. And like I said, I'm working on the border, and I didn't get a chance to clip the other day, so I'm going to clip now my little pieces. And I like clipping as I go along. It just keeps it neat for me, and I kind of get a really good feel for the picture as opposed to seeing all the tails around. And then I know some people like to leave all their tails on to the end, and then the whole rug kind of comes alive after you cut all these little hooked edges off. So I get it. And you know, that's the wonderful thing about you doing your own thing. It's your own thing. I'm learning even in knitting and just with the looms, everybody has a different way to start it, and casting on and ending off and binding off. And you know, same thing with rug hooking. Everybody has a different way of binding off their rug. And is there any right or wrong way? I think it's what works for you. So like I said, they're right or wrong in terms of wearability. Yes, that's a possibility. You know, one binding might definitely be a better binding in terms of wear. So if that's something you're looking for, then yes, there would be a good one and a not so good one in terms of that. So, but I mean, everybody has a different preference. And I just wanted to share with Janet's, because she asked about the binding. So I sew it on, and I'm going to just bring this down so I can quickly show you again really quick how I do a quick binding. This is the twill tape. It's taped on the border edge of the rug. With it, the stitch line will be covered when I fold it over when it's done. So you could see it's all going inward all around. So at the ends, on the corners, you'll see I have to put a little pin to kind of hold it back while I'm hooking, because it's all kind of folded in, so that when I cut this over here and I fold it over, that stitch line is no longer visible. Okay, so if you could see, stitch line is right, good grief, I'm trying to get it right there. And then when I fold it over, you won't see it, and I cut it and I stitch it on the other side. Okay, and so that's put on. Sorry, guys. Oops. So that's put on at the very beginning because I'm just, I don't mind the stitching of it on this level. I don't do the binding. I've done them a few times. I find them very tedious to bind them with the wool yarn all around, stitch by stitch by stitch. I don't, and I know, absolutely, they look beautiful and they wear wonderful, and so I'm a little lazy when it comes to that. So this is what I'm comfortable with, and so I'm okay with it. and the rugs I had have worn well. I guess maybe at some point, if you're putting a rug in a high traffic area, you know, you might want to consider doing the wool, a wool binding or a yarn twill binding. Yeah. So, but I haven't had a problem with any of my rugs. I can't say they've been around for hundreds of years because that's just not the case. So, I mean, they might just fall apart in 50 years, but guess who's not going to be here? So, that's the end of that. But, so that's the journey of rug hooking. It takes us into different places because of our love, I think, for just the textile of yarn and fiber and the colors. And I know what kind of gets me all happy about it is the fact that it's so unlimited. It's limitless. There's just, you know, there's just so many combinations and ways to approach your craft that it just gives you endless joy to know that it's the limits are not there, and we can take it in any direction we want at any time we want. So that's the beauty of it, of rug hooking, and really anything. I mean, and I've seen rug hooking go in many different directions in regards to just, you know, people hooking with different things and just the designs that they come up with. It's awesome. You know, I've seen beautiful work of rug hooking with insane detailing. It's not something I would aspire to. It's just not my thing, but I appreciate it when somebody else does it, only because I can't get into that level of rug hooking, so I can appreciate that somebody else was able to take rug hooking to that level. Absolutely. Beautiful work by many wonderful ladies and men out there rug hooking and sharing. So it's an awesome craft. Again, I just want to bring up Rug Aid, Heather Ritchie's charity organization to help the men and the families, to the men with river blindness over in Africa. So if you get a chance and you haven't, you know, consider a small donation. I mean, anything would help. $1, $3, $5. You could do it through PayPal. She has it all set up where you can just go to the page and donate. And so, just so you know, that's an opportunity for us rug hookers to help out a little. So just wanted to throw that out there for those of you who don't know about it. And yeah, and that's another. Heather Ritchie's got a great book for rug hooking out there too. So those are all good things we could do to help. So I'm just finishing up on this border, and I'm happy with it. Like I said, I changed things up a little bit, and I was pleased. Okay. And you know, the beauty, if you're a new rug hooker, you don't get tripped up by little things being perfection, because the beauty of rug hooking, the way I see it, is that it's imperfection, but somehow it comes out looking beautiful anyway. So it's a very forgiving craft, and that's what I like about it. There is no exact. I mean, yes, you can have the well-placed loop, and attend your rug hooking in that manner. That is, if that's what makes you happy and motivates you, and the look is beautiful when it's finished. It absolutely is. But if that's not what you're doing easily and you're stressing over it, by all means, look at all the wonderful rugs that are out there that don't have every loop so well placed, and they're wonderful and they're beautiful. Maybe it's more on the subject of the rug that is amazing, or the color combination. So don't get caught up that you're your loops aren't all the same size, or they're not always going in the same direction. Absolutely not. As you hook on, you newbie rug hookers, you will start to get a feel for how high your loops will come up, so that they look more pleasant to the eye. And that'll happen naturally as you go on. You just be a little, if that's something you really want to do, as you hook and you become more mindful of it, it'll just start to happen for you. It absolutely does. Like I said, rug hooking is very forgiving, and you can go slow. You could be a fast rug hooker. You could be a neat rug hooker. You could be the perfect place rug hooker with the loops, and it's all what you want. So go for it and do it, and enjoy the process. Try different things. Don't be afraid to do that. I need my plaid, so I'm filling in the borders right now, as you can see right over here, and so that's what's getting done. I'm trying to see if I can give you a little picture of the whole rug. Let's see, could you see? Let me see if I can pull something up here for you and push this over. Not too professional, huh? But I'm trying here. Okay. Well, you can see a little bit more. I've got some bunnies on the bottom here, and that are not getting in the picture, but maybe we'll just leave that as a little surprise element as we work along, and give you something to look forward to seeing on my little bunny rug as a finished product here. So like I said, I've got this light. It's an overhead light, and it's pretty good because it gives me some light right in the area I'm working on, because my lighting's really bad. So if you have bad lighting, I gotta say, I went too long with having bad lighting, and so I had to increase my lighting, and it's a whole different rug hooking ball game here. So anyway, I just want to say thank you for joining me again. Thank you for being part of my Rug Hook and Talk show, and I'll see you soon, and happy hooking. Stay well.